this is Amy, the Gables Stitcher, and I would like to welcome you to my WIP parade, which became a WIP movie. So settle down with something good to eat and drink and some stitching. I have finished filming and editing, and this is kind of like the Seinfeld episode that starts at the end and ends at the beginning. Not quite, but there is an interlude, a little finish at the end after I thought I was done. So if you would like to see all the WIPs, make sure you watch to the end. Thank you very much, and sit back and enjoy the show. Hi Flosstube, it's Amy the Gables Stitcher back again, and this will not be a regular update video. This is going to be a WIP parade. So get a cup of tea, get a cup of coffee, grab some stitching, laundry, whatever you want to do, and sit back, and I hope this is going to be fun. I did not do a full count before I am filming this. I do have a piece of paper so I can kind of keep a tally track for myself. I think I'm between 35 and 40. However, I do have a couple in there that I think I'm going to UFO, and I know there's 2 or 3 that I want to restart. So I'll probably end up taking those out of the official count, and when I restart the ones I want to restart, they will become new WIPs again. So let's go. Number 1, start at the front of the basket. So number 1 is from Etsy. It is from Cross Stitch with Verbena, or Cross Stitch Verbena, and the design is called Salem. Hold it up. So this is a small design. It's 80 by 80, and it's only 3 colors. It's black, orange, and green. I am doing it on a green fabric from X Jude Designs, who is also on Etsy. And that's pretty true to color. So I have all the black done, which I'm just doing in 310. And I need to add the accents of the green and orange. This design calls for all DMC, but I pulled a couple of overdyes out of my stash to add for the accent colors. You don't need to. I don't even know how much of a difference it's going to make because this is 40 count and the areas are small. But I figure I had them, I might as well use them, not just collect them and have them sit in a drawer. So I love this fabric. It's a good size piece, so I can definitely do something with the rest of them. Not sure if I said it's 40 count, and X Jude Designs has gorgeous fabrics. If you have not ordered a fabric from her, I would highly recommend it. She does ship from Europe. However, her shipping costs are very reasonable, and she's fast. So that is WIP number 1. I am going to take the time to put these back in the bags. Otherwise, it will take forever. Some of my project bags are these clear front cloth ones. I have 2 cross stitch friends, Peggy and Roberta, who make them. So they're kind of a small cottage industry, but they do go to some retreats and sell them. So they're great, and because they're my friends, if I see a fabric I like, I can say, hey, make me a bag. So I do like those. Not all my project bags are from them, but they do have a good size collection. So number 2, same fabric. This is also from Etsy. Let's see what this is. This is from Sub Rosa Designs. It is a happy birthday pillow. And I picked this out last year because I wanted to make something for my grandmother. My grandmother is going to be 98 this year. I had hoped to have it done by her 97th birthday, and I did not, obviously, because it's still in my WIP parade. But there's not much in there, so it's a small design, and I will finish it this year and make it into a pillow for her. So right now I just have the happy and the flowers. So this is another XG design fabric. So really gorgeous color. It's a little bit darker than what's showing up on the screen, but it's gorgeous yellow. So I am doing this with just hand dyed of my own conversion. I just pulled out some threads just to, they thought worked well together. Some Victorian motto, weeks, and old willow. I don't even know if they make old willow anymore. More weeks. So this would be the color palette of it. So funny story about this one, the old willow stitchery threads. You can see that it's all like gummed up. It's like the color ran. When I had a very local LNS, we used to have a stitching group that would meet there every Thursday. And my oldest was the mascot of the group. So when she was little, she would, first it was past the baby when she was really an infant. And then she would go in the stroller and my husband would pick her up and take her home on the way home from work. And she would like to walk around when she got a little bit older. So we'd take turns walking her around the store. And I had to buy a few things because she was quick. Like she would grab a chart and like rustle it up, or like that floss, she grabbed it and just stuck it in her mouth. So I was like, guess I'm buying it. So I'm finally using it, but it's nice because I think of her now when I use it. I forgot to put the pattern in there. So, and like I said, I don't even know if they still make those flosses. It's gorgeous color. I'm glad to finally use it. It's been sitting in my stash for about 12 years. So, WIP number 3. This is my one and only So Much to Love bag. It's funny, one of my really good cross-stitch friends gave this to me a number of years ago. I think it was probably even before So Much to Love sold a lot of bags. And she got it for me because of the sheep on here. I love sheep. Sheep kind of my thing. So it is a gorgeous bag. Fabric is nice and soft. It's very pretty. Just don't know what's in it. Here we go. Mirabila Halloween Fairy collection. I saw this stitched up on a purple fabric and I loved it. And this is a kit. So it came with a brown fabric. It came with 32 count natural linen by Zweigart. I'm reading it in the back. But I subbed out a purple opalescent fabric. So I thought it was really pretty. And I have not done very much. I did her skirt, and I kind of got hung up on her skirt. I don't think I made a working copy of this chart, and I should have, because I was having a hard time just keeping track of the skirt, the colors of it. So I put it down, and I need to pick it back up again. It's not that big. I would love to finish it. The color on this is so not true. Hold something else up, see if it helps. It's a lilac. It looks, it's so washed out in this picture. Yeah, it's a little bit better. So it's a lilac. So this WIP I started, it was probably about 8 years ago. So when ABC Stitch was in New Hampshire, I went for a road trip and I bought it there. So it's an old WIP, but I would really like to finish it, maybe this year. So copyright 2006. I probably got it a little bit after that. So this is WIP number 3. Okay. Now we're moving on to the cheaper bags. I am a big fan of these bags. I get these from Amazon, and I will put a link below. They're like $1 a bag, and they're waterproof, and they hold a regular size pattern, and if they get destroyed after a few months of bumping around in my purse, they're $1. So, you know, $1 a bag. I can get new ones. So this one is an oldie but goodie. This is another Loose Feathers. This is Into All a Good Night by Blackbird Designs. And I love this chart. It is a very unusual blackbird because there is not a bird on this. I cannot think of many blackbird designs that do not have birds on them. So, and this is one of them. So I started this one very recently. I've had it since 2004. I started it at a cross-stitch retreat I went to in December in Mystic, Connecticut. And it's a very fast stitch. I stitched most of this at the retreat. And I'd like to finish it soon. Into All a Good Night. So this is it. It's beautiful. So this is all the called for. It's mostly sampler threads, a few weeks. I do need to there aren't a lot of colors in it. And it's interesting because some of these fruits, it's the same color as the brick. So I've kind of gone back and taken out, you know, when you have variegated thread, you kind of work with colors. So Raspberry Parfait is a lot of the red in this design. And it goes from pink to dark red. And you can kind of see the variegation there. And it called for 2 skeins of it, and I was thinking, there's no way I need 2 skeins. But I think the reason why it called for 2 skeins is because you want to kind of be mindful of your color management. So I am cutting out the dark parts to use for the bricks, and I'm cutting out the light parts to use for the fruit. So this is really, it's been a joy to stitch. So it's about halfway done. I'd like to finish that. This chart is another one of those hard to find blackbirds, and I want to finish it because I have a friend, Val, who loves blackbird designs, and this is one of her unicorn charts. So once I finish, it will go, to Val. So I'd like to finish it soon, so maybe she can get it soon. I should be seeing her in a couple of months. So that is 4. Okay. Another fancy project bag. No idea what's in here. Oh, I don't have the picture of this one with me. So I will insert a picture right here. And this one is Patterns in the Other Room. This is, I think it's called Witches of Salem. It's from Roveris Designs. It is silhouettes of all the women who were hung for witchcraft in Salem, Massachusetts in the 1600s. So not much done on this yet. It is on a 32 count Zweigart linen, Belfast. It was white. I coffee and tea dyed it. Baked and basted. So you can see there's some nice variegation on that side. So I was working on this while I was watching TV, and my pattern is over there. So, but I will have inserted a picture, so you will see what it looks like. That is a recent WIP as well. I started that one in October for some Halloween dark October stitching. So it was 5. Next, these are new bags I got off of Amazon, and I'll put the link for these below. I really like these. So they're A4 size, so that's, you know, letter size. They have a nice little pocket in the front, so I figure you could put, you know, your hoop, your scissors, some thread, whatever in there. I happened to put the pattern just so I could see what was in it. It's a good size bag too. So this one is an old WIP, but it's one of those that has very little done. It is Sheepish Designs in the Meadow, 101st exemplary. So like I said, I love sheep, a thing for sheep. So this calls for me, calls my name, and I don't know, I just think it's adorable. So I plan on doing it as charted, except I'm doing DMCs instead of the overdyes. So I will likely, I might sub in some overdyes. I have a lot more overdyes now than when I started this. I probably started this 10 plus years ago. So I might add in some overdyes for my collection that I'm building. So I think I'm doing this on a 40 count. Feels like a 40 count Twitchell because it's rough. And there is a huge start on this. So ABC, a sheep, and a hat. So when I pulled this one out, it made me smile because I really, I love this. I love the fact that there's all these little white sheep, different color, and there's that one little black sheep in the corner. So, and I think I might make some of the sheep have the black heads. I love the white sheep with the black heads. Those are definitely my favorites. So, there's that WIP number 6. And I only know this because I am keeping a tally mark. So, and true to what I do a lot of times, like I just throw the DMC in a bag, and that's why I would start things and not go back to them because it's not bobbinated, it knots up. So the next thing I would like to do is to kind of organize some of these WIPs now that they're all in one place. Okay, number 6, another one of the bags, and I can tell you this is going to be a UFO. I think I'm actually going to take it out of the bag now. I'll save the bag. So it's a Country Cottage Kids, Mermaids. This is an old Country Cottage Kids, number 10. And I started this when my girls were a lot younger, and I thought it was adorable. I still think it's cute. I just don't think my girls are going to appreciate it. And I hate the fabric it's on. I have no idea what it's on. I bought it with the chart at Stitch and Stuff in Reading, Pennsylvania. So it very well could be the fabric of what it's called for. I have picked up and stitched on it and put it down so many times, and I have done just about nothing. So every time I've stitched on it, I've stitched very little. The fabric is so soft. I told my husband it's like stitching on toilet paper, like Charmin, not even like stiffer toilet paper. It's like trying to stitch on fluffy Charmin because your needle goes in and you completely lose the thread. I think it's a 32 count, and yeah, I just, nope. I'm just gonna UFO it. So I have all the overdyes for it and everything, but we're not going to count this one. I will pass the chart, and I'll even pass the fabric on. I'll probably put them together and go to Celebrations of Needlework every year in New Hampshire, and it will go on the free table. And if somebody wants it, they're welcome to it. So UFO. We're not going to count that one. We're just going to save the bag later. Okay. WIP number 7. This one you have seen recently. Oops. As I throw floss and a hoop everywhere. More floss. It is Spooky Countdown by The Primitive Hare. This is the one that I am attempting to do a block a weekend to have it done by Halloween. I started this in October of 2018 as well for some Halloween stitching. And this is exactly where it was on my last update video. But I think I'm going to work on it a little bit this week. Like half a block behind. So here we go. To block number 8. I have not quite finished block 7. Block 7 is going to be my H7G block, my House of 7 Gables block. So, because I can't think of Salem without the House of 7 Gables, where I spent many happy years working and have many good friends still from there. So, and this fabric, coffee tea dyed by me, baked and basted. It is an MGC Textiles linen, which I would not recommend using. Okay, so that was 7. Moving on. Number 8. This is one I love. And I had forgotten I started it, and I really would like to get back to working on this. So this will go into the rotation soon. This is Jenny Bean and Friends. So Jenny Bean's Friendship Sampler by Shakespeare's Peddler. Teresa Vignette, who is also Kitten Stitcher here on Flosstube. So I really like this. It's just pretty and simple. The verse on it says, "Tell me, ye knowing and discerning few, where I may find a friend, both firm and true." And that really speaks to me. I really like that. So this I am doing, I believe, on the called for fabric, called for 40 count French vanilla by R&R. It may not be French vanilla by R&R, but it's close, and it is a 40 count. And I am doing it in the sampler threads it calls for. I, once again, have not done much on this, but it is calling me, and I will go back to it soon and hope to get a lot done, because it is just, it's gorgeous. You can see those colors. They're just pretty. And that is just a few letters, a couple of stars, and some bricks with no mortar. It's just pretty. I think I started this at a retreat and just never picked it back up after I got home. So I really like Teresa's designs. She just showed her Nashville releases for this year, 2019, and I think I'm in trouble. I think I'm going to need to get a few of them. I was thinking, oh, I'm not even looking at the Nashville releases this year. I need nothing. And I saw a couple of her samplers, and I was like, okay, well, I may need those. She did such a nice job with her reproductions, and I love the Jenny Beans. So that is number 9. Number 10. Another fancy bag. Okay. This is from a class, and this is how I have some of my WIPs that have not seen the light of day for a decade. Because when I first came back, when I first got really involved in stitching before I had children and was going to retreats and classes. I took a lot of classes, and when I got home, I did not finish the projects. And I need to finish the projects because they're gorgeous. I have everything I need. They weren't inexpensive. And I would like to have something to show for those classes. So, and I really still like all the projects. Just need to finish them. So this one I took at Celebration of Needlework in 2007. So 12 years ago. It is a Barbara Jackson design, Tristan Brooks. And it's Sheep in the Meadow. It's on the basket. So I have the material and fabric for basket topper and the fob. And this one, I was a little intimidated after I took the class. I don't know if you've ever met Barbara. Barbara's wonderful, so nice, so sweet. And when I was looking at the class online, I did not realize how many specialty stitches there are. The entire top of the basket, all of that is basically specialty stitches with silk. So I had just had my middle daughter, Natalie. She came with me to celebrations that year. So she was about 8 months old, and I was pregnant with my youngest daughter, Phoebe. And I'm taking a class with all specialty stitches, and my brain was mush. I just remember sitting in that class thinking, what did I do? So one of my stitching friends was watching Natalie that whole class. So I have not touched it since that class. This is what I have done. So I would really like to work on this and finish it. I'm not as intimidated anymore by the specialty stitches because I'm no longer pregnant or have a baby at the same time. And my brain is working a little bit better. So, yes, I would like to work on that. So that is Sheep in the Meadow, Basket and Fob by Barbara Jackson. And anybody who has had kids, like, you understand. There's actually a number of these WIPs where I had them, I started them like between pregnancies or with a newborn, and I look at it, I'm like, I don't even remember working on it. So I guess I need to credit myself for trying to stitch, but I probably should have stuck to small kits at the time and not started things that were a little bit out of my league with lack of sleep and having a newborn and or being pregnant. So we are into double digits. That was 10. Moving on to 11. This one you have seen recently. If you've watched my floss tubes, it is Prairie Schouler, The Witching Hour. I love this. So, and I am so close to a finish on this. Worked on it recently. A lot of times my WIPs I roll up to store so I don't get the fold marks on. And it irons out nicely. However, when I'm showing it in a floss tube, it likes to curl up. So this is where I am. I am so close to a finish on this. I have that corner of stitching to do, another pumpkin, and a tiny bit of back stitching. So this is going to be finished very soon. This is done, excuse me, in the called for threads. It's only 4 DMCs. I do have to warn you that Prairie Schouler really loves 3371 if you haven't done any Prairie Schoolers. And this, I've already used almost 2 skeins of 3371 for this. So if you're doing a Prairie Schouler, buy yourself a lot of 3371 because you likely will need more than 1 skein for a lot of their designs. So 11. Whenever I think of 11, I think of the scene in Spinal Tap where they're turning up the volume and they're like, it goes to 11. So it goes to 11. Now we're on 12. Excuse me. Need a little tea here. Here's another class that I have not touched since I took the class. You will notice the theme of those classes. This design is available now. This is the 4 Seasons of Mystic by Jeanette Douglas. I took the class with Jeanette in Mystic, and Jeanette is wonderful. Lovely, lovely lady. If you ever get the chance to meet her or take a class with her, I would highly encourage it. Her classes are great. She uses a lot of specialty stitches. She talks you through. She holds your hand. She talks about color management with the overdyed threads, how to get the right effects. So, yeah, she's really nice. So, and I have my little autographed chart now, and I have not done very much. I'm still in my first season. I'm on spring. That's what I've done. So, and there's lots of different textures of fibers in this. That's something that Jeanette does as well. So the border is wool, and there's silks and there's cottons in here. So a lot of Jeanette's designs, you look at the photo and you think they're gorgeous. You see them stitched and take your breath away. She's really brilliant. So one of my friends who I took this class with just recently finished this design, and it's really pretty. So I am feeling the need to pull it out again, that she's finished. One thing the class did come with is it came with an accessory pack. This was exclusive to the class, so I would like to do these as well. A pincushion, scissor fob, and needle book with everything you need. So, and Jeanette, she calls for a lot of different fibers, excuse me, but most of her designs, a lot of times she sells an accessory pack with them, just like Victoria Motto, so you can get what you need without having to buy a whole skein of it. So, which is nice. So it's 12. 13. This is another one that I have shown recently, and it is a current WIP. Quaker Garden, Blackbird Designs. Saying that. Done with the called for fabric and fibers. About halfway done. And oh, this color is pretty true. I may have found my new filming location. So, there we go. It is a 28 count R&R fabric. And I am about halfway through with this one. And I am enjoying it. So I am feeling, I haven't put many stitches in on it recently, and I feel like I either need to put more stitches in or rotate it out for a little bit, because right now it's kind of stagnant. So that's number 13, Quaker Garden by Blackbird Designs. Okay. There's another one of the bags from my friends Peggy and Roberta. This is, I will insert a picture of this project here. It is Hogsmeade by Country Magic Stitch. It's a full coverage design. I am doing it on 16 count Aida. And this is where I am. So you can see this arrow is the halfway point. So I'm about a third of the way done. I think it's 4 pages, but it is full coverage. and I love stitching on this. I need to pull this out again. I haven't worked on this in about a month. So I started this right before Labor Day of 2018, so August 2018, and I find it a very relaxing stitch. It is full coverage, but it's not like a Haid where there's a ton of confetti with some solid blocks of color, but the detail I think is really amazing. So Country Magic Stitch, she is on Etsy as well. 14. Okay. 15. All right, here is one that has been a WIP forever. So it is one of the coverlets by The Heart's Content. Pull it out so you can see it. This is coverlet. This is Splendor 5. Love it. It is gorgeous. I love the blue. Love the everything on it, the motifs on it. If you've never done a Heart's Content, they are all done over one. And I actually restarted this one because it came in the kit with 36 count linen. I cannot do an entire design 36 count linen. So this is my original start, I think. This is the original. Yeah, I started it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't see. So I went and I got a piece of 28 count linen. And now I'm hoping I'll have I didn't think of this before. I'm hoping I'll have enough floss to do it from. So Heart's Content is Maureen Applebaum. And she is lovely. I have met and spoken with her at celebrations of needlework before. And she told me that when she first started stitching, she didn't realize when you're stitching on linen that you were supposed to go over 2 threads. She did everything over 1, and that's why all of her designs are over 1. You can certainly do her designs over 2, but some of them are kits, and this one was, and they're so delicate looking over 1, so I really wanted to do one. So this is what I have done on this. So I started this over a decade ago, but I did pull this out last year, and I did this whole bottom portion. So I would like to do this again. This is on 28 count. This Weigart linen is probably raw or flax. And 28 count I can see. And it is enjoyable. I can only do it in small spurts just because over 1. So this actually might be 32 count thinking about it. I should count it. It might be 32 count because 28 count over 1 I can do relatively easily. So talking about celebrations of needlework, if you live in or around New England, Celebrations of Needlework is a once a year cross-stitch convention where there's a lot of vendors and designers and classes. And it's in Nashua, New Hampshire, and it is a great event to go to. There's different designers every year. I haven't taken a class in a long time. I think that one I took when I was postpartum and pregnant was the last one I took. I feel like I need to finish some of my class projects before I take more, but I just go and stitch. Go to meet a lot of my stitchy friends there. It's a hotel full of stitches essentially, and there's the market, and there are the classes, and they have, fun events like a round robin, and it's a great event to go to. And it's a great way to meet and talk to some of the designers because a lot of them are there with their booths. It varies year by year who is there, but it's a really great time to go. It's in the spring every year. It's typically the first weekend of May. This year, 2019, it is going to be, I believe, the end of May. They had to change the date because of hotel availability. but I will try to remember to put a link for celebrations of needlework in my description box as well. On to WIP number 16. This is an old one. It's from the City Stitcher. It's called Weeping Tree Sampler. So I love this. I love the house, and there's a sheep. So this is gorgeous. This is one of those that really shouldn't be considered a start. I was in a mood where I wanted to start something. I had this. I had the fibers. I'm going to start it. Okay. I'm not even sure you can see the start. Let me show you. That's my start. Few bricks. I have no idea which way's up, which way's down, where I started. I'm assuming I started in the center. I don't really know. And looking at it, when I was pulling it out, this is one of those, I think I'm going to restart, because I can't even see the color on there. I have some nice linens that it would work for. I really like this. I would like to do it, but essentially it's a new start at this point. So I don't think I'm going to count this on my WIPs. We're going to put this in the pile of things to restart. And we will find another piece of fabric and reuse that fabric for something else. So, not counted. Still moving on to 16. Ooh, this one, love this bag. My friends Peggy and Roberta again. Like Minions. Minions dressed up as vampire. Like, kills me. Love it. This is some bunch of people doing this one online on our Flosstube. This is the Modern Folk Embroidery 2018 Stitch Along. I need to buy the remaining parts. I think I have through August. I did not start it until May. And when I started it, bought the right size fabric. However, I started it in the wrong direction. I started it like this. And I was sitting there stitching thinking, this isn't going to fit. Oh, Amy, you started it the wrong way. It was supposed to go like this. So I still need to frog that out. But not yet. So I was actually working on this a little bit last night. I have completed January. I am almost done with February. I love this. You know my love of monochromatic Quakers. This fits the bill. So I find this very relaxing to stitch on as long as I have the fabric going in the right direction. This is on a 40 count Newcastle. I think it's antique white. And I am using just DMC 3802. So nice maroon color. And it's kind of funny because I think they recommended doing it in a like blue. You can do whatever color you want. It's a monochromatic. The model was done in a blue. And I was thinking I really like the red. I want to do a red. So I picked the 3808. And I looked at this year's Sal, which I love as well. And this one they're doing in a red. I'm like, I think I want to do that one in blue. Change things up a little bit. So that is number 16. I am now putting things on the chair. Number 17. Another Peggy and Roberta bag. Space. This one you have seen as well. I will insert a picture here because I do not have one. This is the 2019 Linen and Threads Mystery Sal. I am calling, it's Quaker Garden. I'm calling my peacock Percy. So I worked on him a little bit more this weekend. This is January part. March part is about ready to come out. I would like to finish January before we hit March. Might be able to do it. I don't have a lot more left. I am doing this on Antique White Monaco, 28 count, and I'm doing it 1/1 with 3808 DMC. And I'm undecided if I'm doing the entire thing with 3808 or if I'm going to do some more jewel tone colors. But I do plan to keep each part kind of monochromatic. Okay, number 18. Shown this one before. Join Your Hearts by Lyssa Studio. A wedding sampler for my husband and I. We will be celebrating our 19th anniversary this year, and I have not done a wedding sampler yet. This is it. I need to work on it. I have a lot done. Let's see. So all the words of this are over 1, and I'm doing this on 36 count. So we just talked about how I love 36 count over 1, how I find it difficult to do. I have reached the point with this that I need to chart out our names and date and church. So I'm pretty much down to the bottom here. I don't want to just finish the border and leave all the over 1 because I won't want to finish it. So I want to chart it out and start stitching some of the words. It's been on my list since January to do that. It's almost March. I would like to finish it this year for our anniversary. So that needs to move higher up on the priority list. Okay, number 19. This is another kind of class I took. My LNS at the time was doing a couple of classes on some Just Nans. It was a good way to learn some specialty stitches. So this one is called Schoolgirl Basics. It's a really pretty design. Band sampler, like a lot of the Just Nans are. Took the class. Love the class. Didn't pick it up again. Do we notice a theme? I have one girl and half a skirt. So I would like to do this, finish this up. This should not take too long. I have 2 of these. There's another one coming out in a second. When I did Natalie's birth sampler, the Just Nan birth sampler, it burned me out of Just Nan for a little bit because of all the specialty stitches. So I promised myself that I was not going to even think about one of the Just Nans I had until 2019. I figured I could do 1 a year, so either this one or the other one will be done this year. And it comes with silks. I mean, colors are gorgeous. And silks are sublime. So back in the day, I actually still have my receipt in here. When did I take it? It's $23 for the kit. Back then, things have gotten more expensive. Is the date on here? I don't see the date. Oh, 2004, October 19th, 2004. So it's a 15-year-old WIP, almost. Maybe we can finish it before its 15th birthday. Okay. Next is another Just Nan. Took 2 classes at my LNS that fall. So this was about the same age, 2004. I feel like this one a little bit better. So I don't know if I'm going to do this one first or the other one. This is called Seeds of Friendship. And you can guess why I like this one better. sheep. And they are the best sheep because they are white with black faces. This one I did a little bit more on, so I'll probably finish this one if it's a little bit closer. I left my needle in it. For needle minders, I had a really bad habit of leaving my needles in my projects, and some of them rusted. This one did not, luckily. So this one I've done a lot more on. I think I'll have to do this one first because this should be a good finish. So Seeds of Friendship, gorgeous, all specialty stitches once again, but in silks, really pretty, really pretty. So I think I'm gonna do that one first. It's closer to being done. And that one, once again, came with all the silks and everything. Oops. That's 20. I still have a basket. And the Just Nans, those band samples, they don't take a lot of time. And specialty stitches, her descriptions are great. You know, YouTube makes it really easy to learn specialty stitches. I just need to be in the mood for them. Sometimes I don't want to stitch where I'm stitching. It's to relax. So that's one of the reasons I love the monochromatic samplers, because I can just stitch and relax. I need to be in the mood to like think when I'm stitching and do a specialty stitch. Okay, next. This is going to be a restart as well. I'm not counting this one. This is another one that I started when I was pregnant, postpartum, or both. And it's a gorgeous sampler. It is called the Patchwork Sampler. I think that's the name for it. It's from a Dutch designer, Jan Houtman. This was very hard to find for a while. One of my friends actually passed this on to me after she stitched it. She managed to get it from someone in the Netherlands. Now you can get it online. And what it is, it's a personalized sampler for your family where you put your name in there, and it's really pretty. However, I hate the colors I'm doing it in. My friend who passed it on to me did hers in like all jewel colors, and it's gorgeous. And I did mine in the called for colors, and I feel like it's 1977. I feel like it could fit in on that 70s show. I just don't like it. So this is what I have. I actually have a lot more I thought done with it, but I don't like the colors. I don't like the fabric. The fabric is a 36 count, I believe, fabric, because I was using one strand of floss, so it's a 36 count. I don't like 36 count very much. I prefer 40, 46. If I'm using a smaller than 40, I like 32. But I want to do it on a 40 or higher, and I want to do it in jewel tones. So this is going to be a restart. I'm not going to count this one. I am going to save this fabric and use it for something else. I mean, I stitch on 36 count. I just don't like this on 36 count. I don't know how much I'm going to frog. I might frog some. Because I could get basically a really good sized piece out of it if I frog a little bit of it. I pulled a piece of fabric from my stash to put in here, but I don't know if I'm going to do it on this. We'll see. I kind of want something a little bit darker. This is a 40 count Newcastle called Nugget, but that's not speaking to me either. I have lots of other things to work on, so this will be a restart at some point when I find the right fabric and the right color palette. So it's going in the not a WIP anymore pile. Okay, this is another class I took. So notice the theme here. This one was in 2010. So actually I did take a class after 2011 and 2007. So 2010, I love this class. I love this pattern. It's called My Favorite Scottish Sampler. The designer is Robin Lockoff. I'm actually not familiar with her. So it's a Scottish sampler. I love the sampler. There's a lot of specialty stitches in it. Love the colors. I've never done a Scottish sampler. So these are the colors. The silks. They're just gorgeous. So this is a start because I put a few stitches in the class. But that's all I did. And I think it's the border. I think they're Smyrnas. And I think this is a lot bigger than what it looks like in the pattern because the fabric is a really big piece of fabric. So I have about 20 Smyrnas. It's on a 40 count Newcastle swag art. So I would like to, this is one I would like to get back to because I think it will be gorgeous when done. She had a model in the class and it was beautiful. Like the picture just does not do it justice. I mean, you can say that for everything. Like the picture doesn't do it justice, but sometimes the pictures are just really don't do it justice, and this is one of those. So let's get this back in. I don't know why I'm saving the other bag because the zipper's broken, but so I think that's 16. Next, this is where we start. This is Bright Needle. No longer designs, but this is Bright Needle Doll's House. Love this pattern. So this pattern was released one year when right around the time that Celebrations of Needlework, I went to it. I think it was one of my first times there, and this pattern was like the pattern. It sold out everywhere within the huge ballroom with tons of vendors. This pattern was gone within like the first hour. Everybody bought whatever copy they could get, and it's no longer in print, and you can sometimes see it come up. There were a few different, they did a dollhouse, they did Esmeralda's house, which is like a little haunted house, and they did a needlework shop. And I don't have the needlework shop. I think I have Esmeralda's house. So one of the things that Bright Needle did too design is this is over one. You can do their designs over two, but they designed, charted them, and all their models are stitched over one. So they're very, very dainty, and they tend to use anchor thread over DMC. So the color palette is different as well. I started this very recently. I said I have had this for a long time, and I started it last summer, and I think I'm going to have to restart it. I'm going to try it again. I have a new magnifier, and I hadn't stitched for a while, and I was having a really hard time with the over 1 on 32 count. So teeny tiny start. I need to organize this one in Bobbinade and try it again. I like the way that the house outline looks. I don't like the way my bricks look. I might rip some of those out. So I'll probably put a little bit more effort into this to see if I like it on 32 count. If not, I need to decide if I want to do it 1 over 1 on 28 count, or if I want to do it on, say, a 46 or higher count. One of my friends is doing, and they send on a 56 count linen, and it's gorgeous. So, and if you think about it, 56 count is really like doing 28 count over 1, but it has that really delicate look, which is what one of the things I really love about Dollhouse. The Bright Needle designs is so delicate when stitched. So I might think about doing on that too. So you can see, like, I just have flosses there. So that definitely needs, I'm going to count that one because I haven't completely decided I'm restarting it. I'm just not ready to. I'm not going to work on this one in the immediate future. Okay, moving along. This is another one of my Peggy and Roberta bags. They do some of these bigger pouches, so for bigger designs. So my husband and I don't have a wedding sampler, so I have two started. This is Drawn Thread, Marriage of the Minds, which I love. And my original plan was to give this to him on our 10th anniversary because this is really an anniversary piece. But like I said, we're married it'll be 19 years this year. So my goal is our 25th anniversary. I think I can do it. This I'm doing with the called for fibers on the called for fabric. It calls for NPIs, which are gorgeous. And this is gorgeous. So I have done a lot. Holding it up. So I've loved working on this. Kind of lost steam. I gotta finish this tree. And I haven't worked on this for a good 10 years. I remember working on this during nap time when my littles were napping, and it would have been 2 and 3 were napping, not 1. So it's been a good 10 years since I've worked on this, but I'm not quite at the halfway point. All right, so I'm like right here. So I think that house is going to be a killer. I think I need to give myself a year to do that house. So I'll need to finish that. I was buying the NPIs for this as I was needing them. So this is back when I had an LNS. I don't. This is another project I kind of need to take stock of because I'm going to need to order the silks from 123 or somebody to be able to use them. Okay. This one I've seen recently. This is Satsuma Street, 12 Days of Christmas. I think I have a chart in here. Yep. Doing a sale with Lyssa from Ellpha Stitchery. And our goal is to do a block a month. And we started in September. So by February, I should have finished block 6. I have not started block 6. However, at the end of January, I had 2 blocks done and the head of a hen. So I'm very happy with what I did in February. Almost finished top border. I hadn't started that. Finished block 4, block 5. I have a few more days in February. I might start block 6. So block 6 has a lot of, this is 6 right here. It's a big block, but there's a lot of solid stitching in it. So block 4 was a killer. I mean, you look at it, you think, I can bang that one out. Block 4, there were so many color changes in that. So I find starting and stopping thread for 1 or 2 stitches just time consuming. So, but it's done. This is on 28 count Monaco, white Monaco. And this is one of the projects I only work in the house because I want to keep it clean. It's DMC, but I'm kind of afraid to wash it because I don't know if that red's going to run. All right, let's see where we go here. All right, this is my second oldest WIP. My first oldest WIP, I didn't bring down with me, but I showed it in my very first video. It's a quilt. It's a welcome sampler. I'll try to insert a picture of it right here. So, and I would like to finish that one. This is my second oldest WIP. And this, it's funny, this is, so it's a Jeremiah Junction Classics. So you can tell this is old. I was working on this top one here. I started this when I was doing one of my internships. I was bored. I needed something to do at night. So there was a cross stitch shop in Falls Church, Virginia. The Needleman East. I have a feeling they're probably not there anymore because this was 1995. So I did not finish it. And you can see I didn't even masking tape the sides, right? Because I didn't even have masking tape. I scotch taped the sides of it. And I did, I did 2.5 quilts. Now, ironically enough, this is the very first time I ever worked with overdyes. I think overdyes were just starting at the time. What are they called? They're watercolors floss. Okay, so, and the quilts aren't supposed to be backstitched, but I ended up backstitching the quilts because it just faded into it. So I was talking about this piece with my husband this weekend. I'm like, do I finish it? Do I not? I mean, this has been sitting, this is 20 years. This has been sitting in my pile of stitching stuff. I think I am going to finish it. I probably won't put the Bible quote on it, but I think I'll finish it and maybe make it into a little pillow. So, yeah. So my back wasn't that bad. Right? And it's filthy. I have no idea if it's going to come clean or not. But this kind of goes along with my first WIP that I haven't finished. And that I would like to. It kind of, it shows part of my journey. So I'd like to finish that. And, lovely project bag, Ziploc bag. That's my only Ziploc I have left. And I just feel like that one needs to be in a Ziploc because it's where I was at that point. Okay, I think I have 2 projects in here. Another Peggy and Roberta bag. So, both Little House Needleworks. So this is Little House Needleworks chart number 4. It's the original Home of a Needleworker. They have Home of a Needleworker 2 out now. That's more popular. I actually like 2 better. And I was going to abandon this, but I think now I want to finish it. I'm going to change it though. This is old. I started this, I think, when it came out. So I think I'm going to change the color of the house. I've decided if I change the color of the house to a different color other than the brown, I might do blue, I might do gray. Our house is gray. I might do the same color as our house. And I am not going to do the alphabet at the bottom. I'm just going to do Home of a Needleworker, my name, and the bottom border. So I would like to finish that. Now, I've been hemming and hawing about this one for about 2 years. I could have finished it in the time I was hemming and hawing about it, but I wasn't sure if I wanted, because I really like the other Home of a Needleworker design, but I'm going to tweak this one and finish it. So, do that. So that's that one. And this other one I don't have a picture of because it's in a magazine, so I will insert a picture here. It is Ye Old Coffee Shop, also by Little House, an old design. I don't know what number it is. It's got to be 10 or under. It wasn't a just cross stitch before, like right when Little House was starting. That's what I have. Not a lot. This was I'd been doing this, using this as a travel project for a little bit. And then I don't know why I didn't, but I think both of these will, in the same bag, I think both be travel projects at some point. So there's 2 more. They should probably both get their own bag. All right, we're coming to the end. Not quite almost done. Okay, this is my Hade. Once again, another Peggy Roberta bag. I had them actually custom make this bag for me because I wanted it big and deep to be able to fit my Q-snap and pattern and stuff in. I will put the picture of my Hade in here because I do not have a good printout of it. It is called A Place of Her Own. And I have the wall picked out for it. However, as I am 2 pages into about 80 pages, it may be a while before it hangs there. So actually, I'm actually, so this is page 1, page 2, and I'm about halfway done with pages, the next 2 pages. So, yeah. So I had always said I would never do a Hade. Never do a Hade. And then I saw this pattern and I fell in love with it. And I said, you know what? Let's try a Hade. So I need to be in the mood to do work on it. But when I'm in the mood, I do really enjoy it. So, however, I do want to finish it in my lifetime. So I need to pull it out again to work on. I figure I need to get a few pages done a year. All right. Next one. Coming down. This is an old sampler. This is Rebecca Kleinsasser. I'm sure I butchered that. It's a Hutterite sampler. It is out of print. You might be able to find it. It's from Samplers and Such by Rebecca Dory, who is actually a local stitching friend of mine. And I started this before I knew her, and I decided to do it in blues because I really like blues. And I kind of feel bad because it really should be red, and because Hutterites are red. And she's my friend now, and I changed her sampler. So this is what I have done. Just the top corner. This is a big girl. This is on a 40 count, white Newcastle. I have seen the original because Becky has the original, and it's gorgeous. So, and there's a companion piece that she never released, but I'm hoping maybe if I promise to do it in red, she'll let me stitch it. So, this one I started about 12 years ago. So, I'm doing it with blue silks, La Versoie. And I had a panic that I did not buy enough, but I figure if I do, it's a sampler, just put in another blue color, and if it's not, Violet doesn't match, that's fine. So Becky designed a lot of samples and stuff. She did a lot of those Altoids tin toppers, which were very popular, and you see those still floating around. So, yeah, she did some samplers. She really enjoyed the samplers, I think. Great reproductions. Okay. Getting down. Another Peggy and Roberta bag. You know I love my sheep. The only picture I have of this one is a little teeny tiny photograph. So I will insert it in here. This is another class I took at Celebrations of Needlework. I took the class in 2003. The class was by R&R Reproductions. And the name of the sampler is, so I can find it. I want to see it's Constance Thayer. I can't even find it. I'll insert it. I'm pretty sure it's Constance Thayer. So it is, yeah, Constance Thayer. There it is. It is done in R&R fabric. Class is taught by R&R. It's an R&R sampler. I have never seen this sampler outside of this class, except a couple of months ago, one popped up on Stash Unload, and I was like, oh, because I'd never seen it in the wild before. So I worked on this a little bit outside of class. I became pregnant with my oldest shortly after I took this, and I didn't stitch for about 9 months, which is why I never went back to it, but I really need to. I stitched on it a teeny tiny bit last year, so this is what I've done so far. I think this is a 40 count. It might be a 36. All the words are over 1. I had a panic when I pulled it out last year because I started the wrong direction in the fabric. I've done this, as you can tell, more than once. So the sampler, it should go the other way. I counted out. I think I have enough room to fit it on here. And what my plan is to go down to make sure it'll fit. Because if not, I've got to restart it. So, and I would like to do this one. This is the first class I ever took. And it was a great class. And it was really, really nice to talk to ladies from R&R. They talked about how they dye their fabric and told nice stories, and it was a really good class. It's done at DMC and a little bit of weeks. But yeah, I need to go down. I need to organize my chart. Like I said, it's a hand-drawn chart, and I don't have a working copy of it right now, and I really need to make a working copy. So Constance there. I will put the picture in, and it's a big one. To the class of a friend, and she finished the sampler. I haven't, but I will. Let's see. One. Okay. Last one in the bin. This one I showed recently. Not much to say about it. Stitchery from Etsy. Not all who wander are lost. Tolkien quote. Almost done. Just got the bottom seam to do. So this should be a relatively quick finish. And that will start the literature quotes in the library. Okay. This is another restart, so I'm not going to count it. It's a sampler cove. Love, love, love the pattern. It's called Back in the Day. This is one of those charts that when I saw it, it like took my breath away. I was like, oh, I have to buy it. So it says, duties beseeched us back in the day. We studied our craft. That was the way. Stitching our namesake brightened our way. A labor of love back in the day. It's band sampler. It's gorgeous. I ordered the silk pack from Vicki Clayton. I mean, just look at those colors. They're gorgeous, right? Gorgeous. I had to start it right away. My L&S was out of Zweigart, which is my favorite fabric. And I decided I would try it on Witchell because I had to start it. And I hate it. You can see through it. I mean, you can read the chart through this paper, through this fabric. It is so see-through, and you can see the back of all the specialty stitches. I mean, I haven't carried. It's just that you can see it. So it is such a big piece that I've decided I need to do it on a different fabric. So this is gonna be a restart. So that's not being counted. I had a feeling once I started it, I was like, it's stiff. It's like sandpaper. So it's gonna be a restart. And that's gonna need a big piece of fabric. I'm gonna need to, that's gonna be on hold for a while. Okay, we're almost done. This one I was just working on today. This one's still available. believe it's a permanent Copenhagen. Sampler 1830. It is a beast. It's huge. And I love blue samplers, except when they're charted in blue, and then I need to do them in a different color. So this one I'm doing green, 934. So one thing that I've done when I don't have a right size grind card is these headbands, elastic headbands from the dollar store, Dollar Tree, are great to hold your fabric up. So this is all I've done. I love it though. I picked this up yesterday to work on. It fit one of the homework challenges in the School of Magical Stitches and Literature. And once I started stitching on it, I was like, why did I put this away? So I think I'm going to work on this one a little while. This is huge. It's not going to be finished anytime in the near future. It's like, I don't know what the stitch count of it is. It's like 3 something by 4 something. I mean, it's big, but I need to work on it. Because it makes me happy and relaxed. So it's on the Q-snap because, like I said, I was just working on it before this. That is being done on 32 count Zweigart random color and with 2 strands of 934. I have 2 that are on scroll rods. I don't tend to use scroll rods a lot, but these 2 are on them, and we'll probably continue them. This is a Mira, and for the longest time, I was calling this Mystery Mira because I could not find the chart. I had the floss, I have the fabric, I couldn't find the chart. I found it this weekend. It's Lady of the Mist, so I will insert the picture here. And I haven't done much. It's gorgeous. It's my first mirror I ever started, and I would like to get back to it now that I found the chart, because the chart was missing for, I don't know, 8-9 years. I didn't even know what mirror it was, so I could buy the chart again. I just knew that it was a mirror. So now I know. And the last one, the last WIP. Huge. Long Dog Samplers, Scarlet Ribbons. Love it. This one, charted in red. I'm doing it in red, but a deep red. It's a hand-dyed fiber, Vicky Clayton. It's called Oh My God Red. It's the name of it. So I have 2 spools, so I should be good to finish it because there's no way you can get any more. And it is so sad that she stopped making silks, because some of her silks too, like you could even get this one here. She did single-stranded. Here we go. It's single-stranded on the spool. So you don't even need to separate it. You could just stitch it. So there are many of us who mourn the fact that Vicky Clayton no longer does silks. Okay, so this one, also on a scroll rod. Have not done a lot of it. Now that I have my Lowry adapter for the scroll rod, I can see myself working on it again. This is all done. I love it. I love what I've done, but I haven't done much. So I think I'm going to put bigger sidebars on this and pull out my adapter frame for my Lowry and fire it up. So, and you can see this is my sophisticated scroll rod storage system. It's a pillowcase. Keeps them clean. Works. That's 2 more. 1, 2, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. 35, not counting the one that I am going to abandon and not counting the 3 restarts. So under 40. My ideal WIP count is between 20 and 25. And the reason why, for me, that's my ideal WIP count is that way I could devote 2 weeks a year to each project if I wanted to. I'm feeling spread a little bit thin right now. And for a long time, I've had the 2-to-1 ratio for starts. Finish 2 things, you can start something else. The problem with that is that you can finish 2 small things and start 1 big thing. And what ends up happening, and what's kind of happened to me, is I end up with a lot of big WIPs that don't have a ton of progress on them, and I don't want to work on them because if I finish it, it still only counts for half a start. So I was thinking of a new credit system for myself for starts where you get so many credits based on how big the item is, and then you need so many credits to start something. So, for example, if something is 100 by 100, you would get half a credit. And to start something that's 100 by 100, you would need 1 credit. So, so if you wanted to start something that was 300 by 300, you would need, I don't know, 6 or 7 credits. So I'm kind of tweaking it, and I'll talk about it in my next update video. My husband was saying it sounds like it's really complicated. I actually don't think it's going to be complicated, but I think it's going to help motivate me to work on my bigger WIPs and to get them done and to moderate how many large things I start. Because I don't want to be stuck with, I don't know, stuck isn't the right word. I don't want to have 30 big WIPs that there's no way I can get a finish in a year, because I am finish motivated. I would like to have a good variety of small, mediums, and bigs. So I think I consider a small between like 100 by 100, maybe up to 150 by 150, 200 to 200. It's a small. 300 by 300. It's a large. Anything above that is BAP territory for me. So I kind of want to keep a mixture there. I don't want to have all HAIDs, don't want to have all full coverage, but I don't want to have all little things either. So I'm going to tweak with that and kind of run with it and see where I can go. But that's it. That's my WIP parade. I will also put in a picture of my original WIP from when I was 12 years old and would still like to finish. So maybe I can get my 2 oldest WIPs done this year. I love watching people on the floss tube doing WIP parades and talk about WIPs, and they say, this is my oldest WIP, it's 3 years old. And I'm just like, oh, bless you. This is my oldest WIP, it's 3 decades old. So it's time to finish some of the older ones and to put some work in some of the bigger ones. I hope you enjoyed my WIP parade. I hope the sound is good. Some people commented on my last video that the sound was really low. I fiddled around with the settings on my computer and hopefully they worked well. I will put as many comments as I can as far as where to get those bags from Amazon and some of the charts that are still in print. I will put them comments and links in the comment box. Thank you for all your comments, subscriptions, and likes. I appreciate all of them, and thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Bye. Hi, I'm back. It's later in the day, it's night, and I was editing my video and realized not only did I forget a WIP, but I did not have a photo of my first WIP. So I figured it would just be easier to film a little clip, put it on the end, and show those two. So, original WIP, 1987. Home is where the heart is. Talked about my first video. Started it when I was about 12 years old. Ran out of floss. And I do want to finish this year and finish it into a pillow. And once I finish this, I will no longer have any WIPs from 1980s. So this is WIP number 36. And last WIP, not much to see. It is a full coverage piece. It is called Westminster Abbey. I believe it's from KDA Designs. If I can find it, I will try to put it in the description link. But I will insert a picture right here. So full coverage design. It is beautiful, lots of dark colors. It is not a huge pattern compared to a Haid. I think it's like 15 pages. Nevertheless, it's full coverage. So it will be a long one to do. And that brings me to WIP number 37. And I believe that is it. So I don't think there are any more hiding. I think that is truly it. I was thinking earlier when I was editing that I have a WIP from the 80s, a WIP from the 90s, and then we go into the 2000s. So it would be nice to finish the WIPs from the 80s and 90s this year. So I am in the current century. Hope you enjoyed the video. Probably watched it on more than one occasion. It was a pretty long video. It was a WIP movie. I enjoyed making it. I will try to add as many links as I can in the comment box. I did realize when I was editing that some of these patterns are so out of print, I could not find a link for them or even like an eBay description for them. But I hope you enjoyed watching my WIP parade as much as I enjoyed doing it. And I hope to see you again soon. Please feel free to subscribe so you can see all my videos when they come out. Thank you very much and have a nice night, guys. Bye.